This is absolute insanity. And the fact that this corrupt, Soros-backed judge has decided that he wants all Tesla owners in his state to live in fear says a lot. This story is infuriating. As somebody who owns a Tesla, now at least if I'm in Minnesota, apparently you can key 6 different Teslas and cause nearly $100,000 in damage and walk free as long as you work for the city. This is maximum corruption, and I don't know if there can be anything done here in terms of Pam Bondi stepping in and getting this moron federally charged. I'm not sure, but if I were a Tesla owner in Minnesota, I would be irate right now, and it's for a good reason. And I'm going to tell you the reason that they're actually, not charging this guy. But before that, huge shout out to this video sponsor, Sheath. Sheath has been with us for a very, very long time. Sheath makes the most comfortable boxer briefs I've ever worn. If you're sick of boxers that are too loose or briefs that are too tight, Sheath is for you. You've just got to get one pair. It's going to change your life. And this is what I always say. Just try them. You can always return them if you don't like them. But from what I hear from my viewers, everyone seems to like them. The most comfortable boxer briefs you've ever put on your body. The stretchy fabric is made out of moisture-wicking technology. They're super soft and it keeps everything cool and comfortable and in the right place, if you know what I mean. Their bamboo material is a total game changer. Sheath is particularly useful for staying cool during the summer and while working out. The most unique thing about Sheath underwear is that they have these dual pouches to keep your man parts separated, which prevents things from sticking together, keeps them right where they need to be. I was a little skeptical about the pouches, but let me tell you, it's an absolute game changer. And by the way, if you're not into that, you don't have to use it. There's sometimes you can, sometimes you don't, depending on what you want, depending on what's going on. They'll be the most comfortable pair of boxer briefs you ever put on in your life. Plus, they have brand new materials like bamboo and mesh for even more cooling comfort. Go to sheath.com, promo code THEQUARTERING, one word, for 20% off your order. That's sheath.com, promo code THEQUARTERING for 20% off your order. Now let's get to this moron. Minnesota state employee who allegedly caused over $20,000 in damages to Teslas is set loose by woke DA as cops slam deal. This is corruption. This is a Tim Walz employee, by the way. Tim Walz employee gets set free after keying a half dozen. I mean, this is just corrupt. Now each of these individual Tesla owners should sue this guy in civil court because, that would be nice. But a progressive district attorney has declined to charge a Tim Walz state employee who was allegedly caught causing $20,000 in damaging a half dozen Teslas. The decision was ripped by a frustrated local police chief. The suspected vandal is a 33-year-old Minnesota government employee, Dylan Brian Adams, was allegedly spotting keying the vehicles and stripping their paint off while walking his dog around the city. Despite what police believe to be evidence that Adams committed these felonies, Hennepin County District Attorney Mary Moriarty will seek diversion instead of criminal charges. No, these are a crime. I get that he's crying here after, big deal. This is an approach taken in many property crimes that helps ensure the individual keeps their job and can pay restitution, as well as reducing the likelihood of repeat offenses. The attorney's office said in a statement, wrong. Tim Walz called and this guy got a sweetheart deal. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said at the time of the incident and that the damage in each case was equivalent of a felony. The chief said that in a scathing statement on Monday that Moriarty's decision not to bring charges is frustrating for his officers and the public. The Minneapolis Police Department did its job. It identified and investigated a crime trend, identified and arrested a suspect, and presented the case to the Hennepin County Attorney's Office for consideration of charges. The case impacted at least 6 different victims and totaled over $20,000 in damage. Any frustration related to the charge decision of Hennepin attorney should be solely directed at her office. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I would do. Our investigators are always frustrated when the cases they poured their hearts and souls into are declined. In my experience, the victims of these cases also feel the same, O'Hara said in a statement. Yeah, I'd say that I would too. Moriarty has been Hennepin County's prosecutor since January 2023, but quickly came under fire for her woke policies that allowed accused people who took others' lives and did other horrible things to stay free. During her very first week in office, she dropped all charges against a 35-year-old man accused of doing something horrible to a teen girl due to attorney misconduct. Let me tell you why, as a bit of an aside, why this is happening, why this is the way it is. It's because they want you demoralized. They want to empower more people to commit this crime because they hate Elon Musk. That's just the stone cold facts of the case. This is exactly what they wanted. Now this guy got to damage a half dozen Tesla owners, and now Tesla owners will live in fear of having their cars damaged by some dork. Look, not everyone can just afford to fix that either, by the way. It's very expensive depending on how much damage they caused. And the fact that the DA just thinks, well, I mean, to be clear, this guy caused $20,000+ in damage. I mean, I think what we're experiencing here is white privilege, and that district attorney should probably consider that. You see this, Minnesota Democrats let a guy who keyed 6 Teslas on camera off with no charges. This was recommended by Nizzle Mashizzle. Here you see absolutely infuriating. Soros-backed Hennepin County Attorney General lets this guy off. Dylan Brian Adams, 33, vandalized 6 different Teslas. How anyone can ignore criminal charges is absolutely insane. Great background from Alpha News Minneapolis. Here you have, these people belong to a cruel ideology. They validate domestic terrorists. They want others to see others get hurt. Our spin is their substance. We will never, ever, Governor Tim Walz will never condemn the destruction and terrible acts. Still waiting for him to condemn my family being swatted. Is there anything to be done federally? I mean, I would hope so. It has to be, otherwise Minneapolis is completely lost. Without consequences, what are these people supposed to do? I mean, they get no justice. They get none. Here's a local report. The damage to 6 vehicles amounted to be $21,000, and each of the 6 incidents accounted to felony damage. So that's 6 felonies that this woke district attorney decided that they were going to let off. 6 different felonies. A Minnesota Department of Human Services employee appears to have been arrested on suspicion of causing $20,000 in damage. I mean, this guy, there were 4 different clips shown during a press conference, have been obtained from the victim's onboard surveillance cameras. The videos show, very clearly who's doing it. Here's one of them. Now, none of these have sound, but you can see this dork walk up here any second, I assume. This appears to be a Target parking lot. Here he comes. Walking around the front of this car on camera the entire way. Wearing a Golden State Warriors jersey with a hoodie underneath it because he's a weirdo, dork. By the way, if he's from Minnesota, he should be cheering for the Timberwolves. That is absolute cuckery. I mean, what does he think? Does he not think he's going to get caught? He was released in custody just over 24 hours later, pending formal charges. Available public records are here. The New York Post claims in its article that the arrest is a spokesperson for government Tim Walz's office, that Adams is not a political appointee of Walz's administration, but one of more than 40,000 state employees. No other comments about the arrest from Walz or DHS because, Tim Walz, doesn't bother to condemn it. I mean, this is Tim Walz cheering for Tesla to fail.
On my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone. They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So.
Yeah, it's at 238 right now.
And if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you. Saying on my phone.
I mean, this is the leadership there, right? I mean, this is what else would you expect? There's no consequences whatsoever for this guy's actions. I don't know if something can be done federally here, but I certainly hope so. I was trying to look through this. Since this activity has been defined as a Terry Act by the administration, I think there are a lot of things that could happen from the perp, from the feds. The FBI should be able to investigate this as an incident of Terry behavior, but I believe there has to be a nexus to an officially designated organization. There is maybe, I don't know if Grok's going to know the answer. Federal action in this case is unlikely. Vandalism of private property, like a Tesla vehicles in Minneapolis, is typically a state crime, and local prosecutors have discretion. Opting for diversion. Federal jurisdiction could apply if it was federal property being damaged or interstate commerce was significantly impacted, but neither seems to be the case with these private vehicles. Additionally, there's no indication of a hate crime or Terry behavior, which could also involve federal authorities. Unless new evidence emerges showing a broader federal interest, this will likely remain a local matter. And so all the people who had their vehicles damaged by this idiot will not get any justice. I suppose the restitution, him having to pay for all of this and being publicly humiliated, is pretty good. It's not the perfect solution, but I suppose it's better than nothing. And I hope this follows him around forever. I hope for the rest of his life, people will be like, oh, you're that dork that just couldn't help himself and was keying cars to totally own. How much did you end up having to pay for that? I mean, the fact that he's going to have to pay 21 grand plus face civil lawsuits, which I implore all 6 people to file, this could still end up bankrupting him. He should be charged, but I'm hoping that the Tesla owners would do the right thing and file civil suits against him as well. I hope you're informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, don't forget, make sure you check out Sheath, promo code The Quartering, link in the description. We'll talk to you again real soon.